This is Hannibal from thehannibaltv.com, and I'm with former ECW World Champion and WWE star as Aldo Montoya and Justin Credible, but in ECW, you were best known as Justin Credible.
What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing these days?
I'm doing fantastic, really. Doing great.
I heard that you're involved in a big documentary that's going to be coming out.
Yeah. We've been shooting it for well over a year now. It's called Credible Documentary, and we wrap shooting May 4th, and it's really been, it shows the struggles of the past couple of years of getting sober, staying sober, and, hopefully May 4th is the show where we're going to tape at, and it brings the whole story 360.
When did your issues begin? Because you had a long career, so you couldn't have had them throughout your whole career, I imagine.
Right. No, it just really different periods in my life where I had started to suffer from pain pill addiction, got sober, and then recently was 2017. I was drinking heavily, and I went to treatment, and it really just chronicles that whole journey and that process of getting sober and staying sober.
What's the toughest part? It's a tough battle, especially with alcohol, because you're around alcohol all the time in this business, going to shows, people are drinking.
Sure, it's readily acceptable. Have it at dinner. Everybody has a glass of wine or a beer. Not everybody, but most people do, adults. And it's hard. It's hard because at the end of a show, people say, hey, you want to grab a drink? You want to grab a beer? So it's tough. It's not easy, but, I'm getting through, and I'm doing well, and that's all that matters.
Now, you had an ECW match with a good friend of mine, Pierre, Karl, Ouellet.
Yes.
What do you think about him at 51 years old, being in Madison Square Garden last night?
I think it's so fucking cool. It's amazing. I saw Karl last year at WrestleMania in New Orleans, and he had just started to really come back and start that journey. So couldn't have happened to a nicer guy, a great wrestler, really one of the best, and transcends the business. The way he's reinvented himself and doing things at such a high level, it's amazing, and I'm so happy for him. He deserves it. He works really hard.
And you were known for being a member of the Kliq behind the scenes in WWE. Which one of those guys were you the closest with?
I was closest to Sean Waltman, X-Pac, and Razor, Scott Hall. But, it was what it was. I was just a young guy trying to learn about the business, and they were some of the best to do it. So I was just happy to go along for the ride and just kind of learn from those guys.
That reminds me of a story. I recently interviewed Duke the Dumpster Droese, and he told me that he accidentally hid your Aldo Montoya mask on an overseas trip. Do you recall that?
I do. And the problem wasn't even that. It was that was the only one I had. So that would have really been a big issue for me. And I believe on that tour, I actually ended up wrestling a couple nights without it. So, yeah.
That's another guy that's battled through the issues, and now he's doing great. And it's nice to see you're doing very well now. It looks like you're in pretty good shape, and you're back in the ring, I understand.
Yep, I am. I'm just, doing the best I can, trying to wrestle as much as I can and stay busy. So, I'm just thankful to be here. Thank you for the fans and to you guys, to everyone. I'm just happy.
Where can people book you if they want to book you for a show?
They could book me directly at PJ Polacco. I have all my information up on my link. I also work with this gentleman named Scott Wilder, who books a lot of the old WWE talent. And just follow my social media on Instagram, on Twitter at PJ Polacco, and also brand new venture, I Hate This Podcast, available on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play, if you guys are into podcasts. And this week we have Rob Van Dam. So it's going to be cool, man. I'm hoping it takes off.
At one point, you also had a YouTube channel giving advice for wrestlers. I actually watched a bunch of those videos. That was a good channel.
I still have the channel. We did a bunch of Pro Wrestling 101 videos, and actually, the reason I stopped doing the videos was the gentleman that did the videos with me, Doug, he got hired by WWE Network, so he didn't have the time anymore, but I recently reconnected with him, so hopefully we'll be doing some more Pro Wrestling 101s on the road.
And maybe in the future, once everything gets going back to 100% with you, maybe you could be a trainer or something for NXT.
Oh, that would be amazing. And never say never. You never know.
Exactly. Any final message to the fans here to close this off?
It's been a great weekend, WrestleMania 35. It's been just incredible, man. So, thank you.